I'm covered, I ain't hidden, I'm protected. Oh, I'm covered, I ain't hidden, I'm protected. Oh, I'm covered, I ain't hidden, I'm protected. And I'm on, I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm protected. I dwell in the secret place. Under his wings I'm safe. No fear in the night or day. God is my refuge, my stay. I'm covered, no harm, no weapon, no, I'm covered, no harm, no weapon. Oh, when trouble comes close to me, his angels stand guard for me. 1,000 fall, I still stand, 'cause I'm held in his hand. I'm covered, protected, no fear, I'm safe, covered, protected, no fear, I'm safe, I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm covered, yeah, I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm covered, I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm protected, 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 hey, I'm covered, I will trust him. I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm protected.
Woo!
I'm
Good
covered.
morning. I know I'll be early, man. Y'all don't know when I'm going live, but I'm telling you right now. I just had to do it. Hold on. I just had to do it. Because a lot that came out after I got off live yesterday, and y'all know Kevin Stefanski got fired, man. Kevin Stefanski got fired. And when I got off, Shedeur started talking. Then Andrew Berry started talking. And I was like, man, if I would have known that, I probably would have stayed on, but it all worked out. Give me a second. But it all worked out for the good because we here. And we about to do it right now. I'm telling you right now, man. Shedeur came out. They were trying to bait him. But, you know, Shedeur don't never fall for that bait. Don't never fall for that bait. And it's crazy how they asked him the crazy question. But I think Myles Garrett did get one crazy question after the game, but they don't try him like they be trying Shedeur. Don't make no sense. Because they want a viral headline. There it is right there. There it is right there. They want a viral headline. Bro, I don't even know what you talking about, bro. But anyway, I'm about to take my notes.
We know what you said yesterday after the game about Kevin and how much you learned from him and sort of understanding each other. What's your reaction to the news that he's no longer the coach?
We just found out a couple seconds ago. I think it's just overall the mentality, like things gonna happen. That's just how the league is. And moving forward, just focus on, what we can improve, individually for the next head coach.
Shedeur, do you think you did enough to show everybody, or I guess show Andrew Berry that you should be the starter heading into 2026?
I think I did what I was able to do, and I definitely grew from a lot of things, and I got experience now. So I'm always the same, like confidence wise. I'm there, but like that's not in my hands. Like that's not my decisions. I can't speak on what other people feel.
But what is the offseason like for you? How are you going to spend it? And is it kind of weird? Like, this might be the first time you're going to an offseason not knowing where your head coach is for outside of last season.
Yeah, well, this year been the first year with a different head coach than Pop, So that was the adjustment off rip, and it was cool. It was straight. Like building different relationships, like in different circumstances, situations, which is always good to have those life goals and have those life lessons around, just to have them on building blocks, so then you prepared in any situation. So that's what this last year, pretty much been.
What are your plans for the off season to get better as a quarterback?
Yeah, of course. First and foremost, I gotta go see Shiloh. Go hang out with him for a bit. I heard he got some Christmas gifts for me. So I'll go see about that probably tomorrow or something. Then after that, really just be with the family. Then get back to work and connect them with the guys earlier. Connect them with just overall just getting better. Looking at everything that happened this year and what transpired, and going into next year with a fresh mind.
Shedeur, I know you talked a few weeks about wanting to find more wins, that you felt like the wins were the things missing. So just like how important is it for you to end the season having won these last two games?
I feel like the way we ended the season was cool. I think it was cool. I think overall, like as a quarterback, I showed different pieces in different games, to all add up to one complete quarterback. And that's what I had to get to, in those situations, red zone situations, field goal situations, third down situations, where you at on the field situations. So there was a lot of situations that was good. I feel like this was a good learning year for me, and I'm excited for it because, like I say, like moving forward, I'll be prepared. I'll have actual realistic reps versus players and versus other players on other teams and everything. So I'm excited for this offseason, like knowing and understand what to expect and what I'm gonna get.
With that said, what does your offseason need to look like for you to feel like you've come into this next year with a good platform? Like it always been. Yeah, the work always be the same, So that's one thing. That's one thing us, like as a family, as just being a Sanders, like that's what work is, and we always continue to do it. So just working, but know what you're working towards, and know the opponent.
Who informed the players that this happened? You said you just found out 2 minutes ago.
I think social media informed the players first. So I think that's.
Hasn't addressed the team.
All right, now this is getting sticky business here.
Shedeur, obviously you've only been here just 1 year so far, but as this team goes into a coaching search, what do you think is needed in the next leader of this team to sort of get this on the right path?
I can just focus on me. I can just focus on what I could do and getting better, and the players and the teammates that we got. When it comes to those grown-up decisions, that's not me.
You're going to take 2 more.
You worked so hard with Bill Musgrave, Tommy Reese, and Kevin, and we saw you get better every single week. What did all of those guys mean to your growth and your development since the day we first saw you show up here. And, you know, would it help if maybe Tommy and Bill can still be involved with you going forward, or just
See, now you're trying to get me in sticky business.
well, not that, but
I can't make decisions on the coach and who's coming, who's not. Yeah.
Just how important was it to your development what Bill and Tommy and Kevin all did to help you get?
Yeah, but it's those coaches and also it's other coaches also, you know, that all poured into me and that helped me throughout everything. So definitely, it take a village. It take a village to grow someone and help you in places that you need help with, you know, and just talking in perspective, just being humans with each other, you know. So it take a village to raise one.
You mentioned getting more reps against other teams and having a long season and that. Does that mean that the franchise kind of came to you and said they want you to be a quarterback going forward?
Nah, I just went off simple facts of from last year to this year, like not playing in the league, and this year playing in the league, knowing what you like, what you don't like, knowing what you do good, what you don't do good, and just knowing the strengths and weaknesses and knowing how people game plan, also knowing how teams will attack or take things away. So it's a whole deep dive that you have to dive into when it comes to this off season and mentally, like getting there and preparing everybody, whether it's the connection with the receivers and everybody, to have that type of feeling, to have that it factor, to have those moments to where it could be risky plays, but it's always going to fall in our direction. So it takes a lot of relationships, and that's what I'm happy this offseason I'll be able to build with those guys and whoever is coming to the program.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Shedeur.
Thanks for having me, Shedeur.
Look here. I ain't gonna lie, they probably the shortest press conference he done had since he been to Cleveland Brown. But we already know they were about to bait him and try something crazy. You know what I'm saying? Tony G and Mary Kay do what they do. They always asking some ridiculous questions. Tony G baiting, Mary Kay baiting, knowing how to talking about the coach, what he think about the coach. You know he ain't about to answer that. I know I heard Denzel Ward say something about what he was looking for in a coach or whatever, but you know, that's why Shedeur didn't answer it. But what you talking about? Barry said Shedeur got a very, very long way to go. That ain't what man. We about to listen to him in a minute. Right after I talk about what Shedeur just said, he did what he needed to do. You know, it ain't his decision if he think he did enough to Andrew Berry to give him a chance in 2026, you know what I'm saying, to be named the starter. He did what he needed to do. Now, he still got a lot of learning to do. We already knew that. I told y'all it's going to take about 2 to 3 and maybe even 4 years before we really know what Shedeur going to be. And just that him. It's all these quarterbacks in the league that just came here. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. Because, like, if you would have seen Caleb Williams his rookie year, you would have thought, okay, he a bust. He about to be a bust. He ain't going to play that good. Now, he got the right coach. They got an offensive line. He balling. Same thing what the Browns need to do with Shedeur. Hopefully, when we listen to Andrew Berry, I listened to it a little bit. I heard him say something that got me wondering. So that's why we're going to look at it. And that's why I wanted to do this right here. But first thing Shedeur said he about to do, go see Shiloh, be with the fam, and start back working. Hey, that way he need to decompress, man. He need to get away from this whole sabotage. Whatever Cleveland got going on up there, that negativity, the media, all that, he need to get away from all of that. Hey, man, Junior, don't even record it, Junior. Don't even record it. Just leave the camera off, and y'all just enjoy each other for a couple of days. Then, you know, do your thing. You already made enough money, my dog. You making about $500,000 a year, bro. That's all I'm saying. Crazy. And then Tony G trying to bait him, focus on himself. Shedeur said he's gonna focus on himself and not the next coach, which is a great answer because it don't matter who the coach is. It don't matter who the coach is because I got to go out there and perform no matter who the coach is and what it's called. So y'all ain't going to see the behind the scenes just like we ain't know until Miles Garrett came out and said that Shedeur was in there early every day. You know what I'm saying? Because if you listen to Mary Kay and Tony G and all them and Rick Ryan, they'll tell you Shedeur wasn't in there. He ain't prepared. He ain't ready. He ain't doing the work to get ready. But meanwhile, the leader of the team, he's saying the opposite. Now, who you going to believe? Now he know how the game plan and how the team was attacking. You know, when he got thrown in there, he ain't know, that was his first action with the first team. And then you getting thrown in the fire like that, these teams, if you notice, they really started changing their game plan a little bit after Shedeur started throwing that ball deep. If we got on, along playing more games, that's what I'm trying to say. When he gaining more experience, the defense started changing up how they looks a little bit because they used to have like seven men on the line of scrimmage. That wasn't confusing Shedeur. It was more confusing that offensive line because they weren't blocking nothing. But you know what I'm saying? But if y'all was here when I played that Kirk Cousins clip, when he said how the defenses then learn how to disguise what they do better than what they used to, now he had to change his whole progression, like how he gonna determine where he gonna go with the ball. So it ain't nothing easy now. It ain't nothing easy, but it shouldn't be that hard because he done played this thing for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But if you got the right coaches that's developing what Andrew Berry about to say, then that's a little different because if that coach believe in you and developing you right, then you should understand it more and quicker and faster. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. What y'all over here laughing about? Let me see. Better get you some red. Wait a minute. Y'all need to quit being nasty on my. See what I'm talking about? Y'all better exchange numbers or something. Don't do that on my live. This is not pop the balloon, find love. This ain't find love, pop the balloon. This ain't it. This is not it. They don't pay me for that. This is not Tinder, Black Planet, tagged with a plenty of fish, black. What else y'all be on? This ain't none of that. Adult Swim, it ain't none of that. Pop the balloon and find money, man. Nah. I don't know what y'all doing. Mitt Robinson said, you better get you some rest. What that mean? What that mean? How she know you need rest? And where you been that you need rest? And how she know? I'll wait. Y'all are being nasty on my live. Y'all need to chill. Freaks come out in the morning.
Jeff, do you need up here?
Appreciate you, I got another one coming.
All right. Today's obviously a tough day for the organization. It's a tough day for me personally, largely because of the relationship, both professional and personal, built with Kevin over the past 6 years. I think many of you have heard me say that Kevin's like family. There really isn't a better person. He's the best of us. We all owe him a debt of gratitude and appreciation for a level of success that he brought the organization that really hadn't been achieved since 2002. And that's something that we'll always remember. Coming into this season, we were realistic that, we were a team and a roster in transition. And ultimately, this decision is born from the fact that we've ultimately felt like we did not see enough progress in areas that were controllable, independent of certain game outcomes. Everything that we do is with the idea of bringing a perennial winner to Cleveland. And this decision falls in that bucket as well. There are many tough decisions that we have made that we'll have to continue to make in order to fulfill that promise. And I know how hard it's been for our fans this year. We have a great appreciation for their loyalty, their dedication to the team. I think back to our last home game against Pittsburgh. They were such a huge factor in that game. And then for them to support late in the year, big rival, had everything to play for. It's quite the testament to show how much this team means to them and ultimately what we owe them because of that. So in terms of next steps, really our focus is on identifying and finding, the leader and the partner to bring along this young team as well as the young players that we're going to add in the next several months. So that work is going to be deliberate. It's going to be immediate right after we finish this press conference. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
You said you didn't see progress. Are you specifically looking at quarterback, or do you specify?
Hold on before you answer that question, cuz I want to point out something. I don't know if y'all caught it, but he said they was a team and a roster in transition. Now, transition from losing to winning, or transitioning from that debacle of Deshaun Watson contract that made y'all get in this predicament and almost changed the whole NFL and collateral colluded against Shedeur Sanders. That's what you transitioning from? Be clear, Andrew, you got a Harvard degree. Then he said no progress. The reason why they got rid of Kevin was it was no progress in areas that were controllable. Now, he said game, but I'm pretty sure it had to do something with Shedeur and some of the other young players. Because you can control who get the reps and all that type stuff, who getting in the game, who not getting in the game, this, that, whatever. So I need clarification on that. I don't know about y'all, but I need some clarification on that. I ain't gonna take that answer. And then he said the next thing they're gonna focus on the new head coach and the new players right after the press conference. Well, it's a whole new day. Hopefully he done got to it.
A little bit more maybe there.
Yeah, there are a number of different areas, Chris. It's going to be immediate right after we finish this press conference. So with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Right, true.
See progress. Are you specifically looking at quarterback, or do you specify a little bit more maybe there?
Yeah, there are a number of different areas, Chris. I think all head coaches get evaluated on, whether it's game strategy going into the game, in-game decision making, certainly player development. If you're a young team, the QB is obviously a big part of it. But there are multiple areas, and some, quite frankly, I thought we did very well. Others we didn't see enough progress in.
The impression is that the roster was sufficient to win. Do you feel that way? And when you're talking about the lack of progress, is that because you believe that the players you brought in could have performed at a better level?
Yeah, Daryl, I think it goes back to what I touched a little bit in the opener. Again, we're realistic. I think how you evaluate progress when you're a team that's in transition versus how you evaluate progress for a team that's squarely in their contending window, it's different. I think that's totally fair. How we would think about a season in 2020 or 2021 versus this year, it's different. That's absolutely true. Some of that is outcome driven, but not all of it. And you try and weigh that as best as you can and make the decision that you feel is best for the organization.
Will you guys interview Jim Schwartz for your head coaching job, and maybe also Tommy Rees, anybody else in the building? And then if so, what do you see in those guys that would lead you to believe they could be good head coaches?
I'll talk about them individually since you raised two coaches who are on our staff. So first with Jim Jim's an outstanding football coach. We have a lot of respect for him, a lot of appreciation for him, and he has certainly earned the right for consideration. But that's something that we still have to discuss and obviously discuss with him. And Tommy, he's a very talented young coordinator. He's held in very high regard, not just in college football, but across the NFL. But again, those are discussions that we have to continue to have.
How important is it this maybe getting somebody with that coaching?
Joe, we'll be pretty open-minded. I think there are a number of different archetypes of successful head coaches. I think about Kevin. I think it's easy to forget now that he has, 2 Coach of the Year awards on his mantle, that when he was interviewed first in 2019 and he didn't get the job, and then again, I guess it was 2020 and he did. In both of those cycles, he had no head coaching experience, and we were the only team that interviewed him. And so I think our responsibility is to search far and wide. There are good coaches out there. We've just got to do our homework and find the right fit for us. We'll have no preconceived notions as we go into the search.
Sorry, Andrew, do you have any, whether it's regrets or whatever, just the way the offensive line?
I wonder why y'all were the only team to interview Kevin. I don't care about them 2 Coach of the Year awards. One of them was COVID year, and the other one was a fluke because Joe Flacco came out the couch and won 5 games and struck some magic, but you were still 1 and done. So, and they had a better team in 2020 than they did right now. And then they looking at the quarterback position and player development. He didn't see enough progress in areas. Now, he said some area were good, some area wasn't. I'm pretty sure the quarterback position was one of the positions he talking about that wasn't. And then y'all brought up the Wildcat play. That probably had a lot to do with it too, because it didn't make no sense. Because when Dylan Gabriel was playing, I told y'all this too. When Dylan Gabriel was playing, when they got it, Quinshawn then ran that ball all the way down to the red zone. They get in the red zone, they play action and let Dylan Gabriel throw it. Shedeur get in the game. Shedeur done got the ball down there in the red zone with Quinshawn. They run Wildcat. Take Shedeur out of the game. This makes no sense. It makes no sense. So that got to be part of why are we doing that. Like, you ain't building no confidence with Shedeur. You ain't building no confidence with your young players. Because then that when Quinshawn, when they did run that Wildcat for a 2-point conversion, whatever game that was, it was a debacle. So yeah, there got to be another area. Then he said transition again. I still want to know from what? From what transitioning? From what? Then they open-minded on the head coach. So ain't no telling who they gonna pick.
The lack of depth there and so on. And then you have rookies behind that line, quarterbacks. I guess 2 thoughts. One, maybe could have done a better job bringing the line together. And B, was it too soon to go to the rookies with that? Or?
Terry, it's a good question. I'd say, specifically to, let's say, the offense, it's no secret that that's where we're going to invest most of our resources this offseason. I think the reality of it is, a year ago when we decided to make the pivot that we did, you also realize that you're not going to be able to accomplish everything at once for the roster. The offensive line, that's a position group that I do imagine will have a fair amount of turnover as we go into 2026. But we also do feel like it was important this year, and quite honestly going into next year, to give young players snaps if we're ultimately going to build a core and foundation that we need to win perennially.
Kevin got dealt kind of a bad hand going into the year, 4 quarterbacks to start camp. How would you kind of reflect on that decision in hindsight?
Yeah, I'd say, honestly, most teams go into camp with 4 quarterbacks. That rep distribution may be a little bit different than what we had. But it's the most important position in sports, and it's something that we felt strongly about investing in. I'd actually give a lot of credit to Kevin and the offensive staff in terms of how they brought along those 2 rookies and how they designed practice. But we believe in competition in every room on the roster, and quarterback's no different.
You
You talk about
Hold on, what he
finding
said?
the right partner. What?
We believe in competition in every room on the roster, and quarterback's no different.
You talk about finding the right partner. What are the qualities that you think are most important in this next leader for the organization?
Yeah, so I'd say number one, like you hit it. Like it's not just leadership by position, but I'd say leadership more globally. Because when you hire a head coach, it's someone who has to be able to lead your players, lead your staff, lead the organization, lead through hardship and lead through crisis. And NFL years, they're like dog years. They're really difficult seasons. And that'll be at the forefront because it's first and foremost a leadership position. And then when I say partnership, head coach GM relationship is a lot like a marriage. And you have to work side by side and, fight back to back. And I think that that's really, really important because you have to be aligned in terms of how you're positioning the team.
Do you see enough out of Shedeur? Do you think he can be your starter next year, or do you think you should find something not on the roster?
Scott, I think we saw a lot of progress with Shedeur this year. I think that's both mentally, physically playing the position. He's still very much a work in progress, like many rookie quarterbacks are. But I think we saw some really good things in terms of, his playmaking, his accuracy, his ability to extend with his feet. And I think I'd also give him credit, as well as our offensive staff, for bringing him along in terms of his pocket management, his situational awareness and things of that nature. Now, that all being said, we're going to do our work on the quarterback market. It's too important of a position, and it's something that has to be solidified. I can't sit here and tell you today, whether the solution or the starter in 2026 is internal or external, but it's something that we're going to work through, over the next several weeks. And quite honestly, the new head coach will also have a lot of input into that as well.
I ain't got to watch nothing else. That's all I need to hear, man. Look, he praised Shedeur, saw a lot of good progress with Shedeur, saw really good things, and then he named the areas that Shedeur he saw that he had improved on during the season. But they still looking for a quarterback. So now they got the 6th overall pick. Andrew, what you gonna do? Because you got the 6th overall pick out, and you ain't gonna about to get Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore for whatever reason. Them two is the top quarterbacks in the draft. You're not gonna move up past the Raiders at number 1 and the Jets at number 2. They both taking a quarterback, so both of them gone. So who you gonna get out of this draft if you looking for a quarterback? Or does that mean he gonna go sign a veteran? Now, whatever veteran they can get, Joe Flacco again, I don't know. But then the new head coach gonna have a decision. Like I told y'all before we even did this, I said whoever the coach is, they got to believe in Shedeur. They got to believe in Shedeur. If they don't believe in Shedeur, like Tony Rizzo said, they're going to want their own person. They're going to want their own guy at quarterback. Now, if that's the case, you need to go ahead and get rid of Shedeur right now. As soon as you hire that coach or you go to an interview and he say he don't believe in Shedeur, trade Shedeur. Please. Don't waste no time. Don't go through no draft and then mini camps. I don't want to see all that, man. Get Shedeur a head start at his new team so he can get acclimated over there, start learning their playbook, start getting with them receivers, the timing and all that. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to see all that, man. I don't want to see y'all. Mac Jones, I guess so. You might be right, Selmo. They're gonna try to find like a Sam Darnold, man. I'm telling you. Like this crazy. This crazy. I'm about to finish listening when I'm getting my point across right now. Just based off what he said, I'm thinking right there at that moment, I'm thinking they're about to go get a vet. A former first round pick. They're trying to resurge his career like Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. Yeah, that beat would be Mac
You
Jones.
look at what Joe Flacco did in those 4 games here, and then he goes down to Cincinnati and has 300-yard games. What does that say about the wide receivers that you have in this roster?
Yeah, Jeff, offensive football, and particularly the passing game, it really does take all 11. I know that's something that our coaches have said a lot over the past couple of years, because the offensive game is about precision. It's never just on the quarterback. It's never just on one position group. Protection plays into it, route precision, route design. Obviously, we wish we had more success, while Joe was under center here. We didn't. It's unfortunate.
Let me pause it again, because them trolls, man, they want to just blame Shedeur. Like he can't block and catch the ball. Man, he throwing the ball right on their hands. But the part I missed was, before we wear that little part right there, he said they're going to invest most in the offense this offseason. Now, then he said something about with what we had to do with what we got because they were limited. That's that Deshaun Watson contract. Because they traded, Jimmy Haslam said something about it, where they traded all them assets, and then they got to build through the draft. So that's why they're trying to accumulate so many draft picks, so they can build through the draft, because they know they ain't got no money to go out there and sign no free agent, not no big-time free agent. They can't do that, so they got to build through the draft. So he got to hit home runs like he did this past draft. With this draft, he got to hit home runs in the draft. So he probably going to try to accumulate as many draft picks as possible. That's why I was thinking they might trade back in the draft again to get another first-round pick for 2027. But you had Deshaun Watson on the books then, so then you have some cap space. But look, he would like to build a core and the foundation with the young core. That's what the next coach got to come in. He got to be able to utilize these rookies, even the ones they about to draft, whoever they looking at. They bought the draft. So I don't know if Andrew had been talking to his brother over there at the Eagles, his twin brother, or they just switched places during the draft process, and his brother picked Shedeur and all them. And then Andrew went back, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they got it. They got to hit a home run on the draft. But if they're looking for a quarterback, man, I don't know. They're trade Shedeur now, man. Get this over with. I'm tired of talking about these Browns, bro.
To follow up, so then what do you think of this group of wide receivers that are on this team?
Yeah, listen, I think there's a lot of work that we still need to do on the offense from a personnel standpoint. I think that we have a number of players that will continue to be pillars and are players that will continue to develop and invest in. But, the offense is going to have, significant investment this offseason, Jeff.
Why did you make that to the defense for a second? Grant was talking about this a little bit, but obviously there's not a lot of people that run this sort of system that Jim runs, and two high safeties have become really popular, all that stuff. I mean, how important is it for you, kind of regardless of trying to keep the defense in this sort of system intact, or given the personnel you guys have added over the last 3 years?
It's a good question, Ashley. I think that number one, I think you hit on a really good theme that, one of the costs of turnover is that players can kind of get caught in transition between scheme to scheme to scheme. We do have a number of players who are maybe a little bit more defense specific or scheme specific, but I'd also say that we have a number of players that are pretty scheme versatile. Ultimately, our thought will be, hey, let's find the right head coach. Let's find the right leader, because schemes, they really do come and go. But it is fair to say that we're very pleased with where that side of the ball is. That group is intact. They're under contract. And we really do like the style of play.
As you enter this transitional phase, how close do you feel like you are roster-wise, pillar-wise, that you guys talked about, to having success? These guys have talked in the locker room about wanting more wins and being close to some of those. How close do you feel this organization is to having success?
Yeah, Cam, I'll never put a limit on our team in a given year. I think, we see that on a yearly basis. I think you can look at how different the playoff field is, this year versus last year. I think we have 3 teams that were picking in the top 10 last year that are either winning their division or, going to be playing this upcoming weekend. So every year really is unique. Now, that being said, very much more focused on process and doing the things that we need to do on a daily and weekly basis to get there. I wish I had a crystal ball and could say, hey, this is what it is definitively. Do I feel like we're closer today than we were a year ago? I do. I hope we are a whole hell of a lot closer a year from now than we are today. And we have a lot of work to do. And that's really where my focus is. That's what I'm dedicated in terms of doing.
You spoke about a GM and a head coach obviously being partners.
Yeah.
And with 8 wins in 2 years, a lot of times we see in pro sports house cleaning. How do you feel personally and professionally about Kevin going and you staying?
Yeah, like I said, Nate, this is a very tough day. And I just say this, I own the results the past 2 years, Nate. I own it entirely.
They talking like somebody passed away. The defense good. It sounds like Schwartz. I seen the mock draft that had the Browns drafting Caleb Downs at the number 6. He a safety to play Ohio State. He came from Georgia, went to Alabama first. And then he said they a year closer to what they were trying to do. And that's mainly because that Deshaun Watson contract is in his last year, and they know they gonna have cap space to not only sign top free agents, but to maneuver in that draft however they want to in 2027. And y'all keep saying they want to draft Arch Manning. I don't know, but it's a possibility. But at the same time, if you're gonna do that, trade Shedeur.
And ownership evaluates every one of us in the operation on an annual basis. I'm no different. And I am grateful that they feel like I'm the right person to lead us through this transition period. And that's where all my focus, energy, and dedication is going to be.
It's just been proven throughout the league. You need a elite quarterback to win and sustain winning. Do you have a plan going into this offseason to create the path to finding that player here?
Yeah, Daryl, I'd say quarterback is the most important position in sports. We all know that. And part of the equation with quarterback is the evaluation part. Part of it is the development part as well. It's the most important part. It's the hardest position to play. It can take time, but look, that's the focus, solidifying that position. That's the biggest thing that can lead to sustainable success. That's priority number one. How we accomplish that with the combination of internal options, external veteran options, the draft, that remains to be seen. But priority number one is finding the leader for the organization. That's what our focus is on in the short term.
I just hit it on the head. Internal, external, vet, draft. He's saying all these different areas where they can improve on the quarterback, because they got to, first of all, he said the quarterback position is most important. So development and evaluation goes into picking the quarterback and making sure you got the right quarterback. And then internal, external, vet, draft. That make me, he said vet. That make me think they about to go sign or try to get, but they ain't got no cap space though. That what don't get me. Unless they trade Deshaun Watson. They ain't got that much cap space unless they cut somebody and create some like they did like last year, cutting my cousin and creating cap space to go sign some players. They can't get a Mac Jones or a veteran quarterback that's trying to resurge. But go ahead, good luck. Good luck, Mr. Jackson. What's going on? Coach allowed them to keep the OC and DC and QB1. Look, I don't know, but it sounds like Jen Schwartz staying though. Yeah, it's awful. I had looked at it yesterday. I don't think they only got like $3 million. If I read it right.
Deshaun Watson stand?
Let me do Mary Kay. Let me do Daniel, and then I'll go back to you
where does Deshaun Watson stand as it pertains to this organization, and do you anticipate him being on the roster in 2026 as it's been reported?
Yeah, Daniel. First, I'll say we're very pleased with how Deshaun went through and attacked his rehab this past year, how he engaged with the team, what he did in the meeting rooms. Very pleased with the progress that he made in that regard. Look, I can never predict the future, but right now we do anticipate him being on the 2026 team. But we have a long way to go before we get to that point with any player. Go ahead, Mary Kay.
I told
The
you.
number 6 overall pick in the draft. Do you guys feel with what you're seeing in the quarterback landscape in the class, if you choose to go that route, do you feel like you guys could acquire one of the top picks in this draft? And then I have a little follow-up to that question.
Honestly, Mary Kay, it's too early to tell. I think you can think about what everyone felt like we knew about the quarterback landscape this time last year. About what we thought we knew about the draft. There's a lot of work to be done with this entire draft class. And again, you want to do that in partnership with your new head coach as well. So I wish I could give you a little bit more in that regard, but it's a long process to get through the assessment of this year's passers.
Follow up on that real quick.
I promise I'll get you next, Tony. Good.
The follow-up that I had to that real quick is because you are going to be committing so many resources to the offensive side of the ball, and because you have so many young guys, might you trend more towards offensive-minded coaches and maybe get like a younger vibe or anything like that?
No, not necessarily, Mary Kay. I think it's more you're looking for maybe a specific skill set given where we are in our build. I think that's fair. I don't think that archetype is singular. I don't think that means it just has to be a young person. I don't think that just means it has to be an offensive coach. I mentioned a little bit earlier, the head coaching position is so different than being a coordinator, and the head coach's responsibility is to make sure that the offense is run and developed well, as opposed to necessarily having to be the person that directly does it. Go ahead, Tony.
It's indicated that you will lead the search, but there will be others on the committee. Who will they be?
Yeah, Tony, I won't go into specific names. It's a good question, but you say we're going to leverage the expertise across our football operations group. This is an organizational decision. It's not just a singular person who does everything. You're hiring for a position that's going to have such a huge daily and yearly impact on the team, and we want to make sure that we leverage the expertise of many people in our operation as we go through the process.
So Tony Rizzo was right. As of right now, it's 5 GMs. They had said, I don't know if y'all was here, but they had said that the Cleveland Browns might have 5 GMs, general managers. So it's going to be a collection of people that become one to select these players or make these decisions for the roster. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe it's a good thing because now if everybody don't agree, then somebody might be a little biased or somebody might have a different opinion than somebody else. The reason why not to pick this player or the reason to pick this player. Maybe that's a good thing. And just not having Andrew Berry pick him or anybody else that's just solely doing it. But Deshaun Watson on the roster, it sounds like he's not going to be on the roster, to be honest. And I'm telling you, they trying to get rid of this contract as soon as possible rather than later. And I'm thinking that's going to be part of after they select the head coach and selecting the head coach. I'm thinking going to happen before the end of the month. That's just my opinion because the way he talking is he want the coach to be part of the process. And then he say the process going to take a while and it take time to evaluate this draft class and these quarterbacks. So it looks like they about to hire the coach as soon as possible. Because like he said, they starting the search right after the press conference. So it looks like, my opinion, my prediction, y'all heard it here first, that they probably going to hire the coach before the end of January, before February, because the college season will be over, and then everybody be prepping for the NFL combine and the pro days, and you got to start evaluating if you're going to have, especially with 10 draft picks, you got to know if you're going to trade back if I'm going to take a player at 6, trade back, or if I'm going to take a quarterback or whatever they planning on doing at 6 or 27 or 28, whatever the Jacksonville finish it. So I'm thinking they're going to pick a coach soon to help with that draft process and then determine if they're going to take a quarterback. But like you said, it's too early to tell. I don't think it is. Maybe you done made the decision because they talking like they're going to take a quarterback. Hopefully they don't. But if they do, like I'm going to say it again, trade Shedeur. Ridiculous.
Can I go here and then I'll come back to you, Chris, just because he hasn't asked a
You
question.
mentioned that you knew coming into the season that this would be a year of transition. Season ends then with a 2-time coach of the year getting fired because you didn't see enough progress. How do you sell that to candidates who are looking to know that they'll have the necessary runway to do what they need to be done?
Yeah, we understand where you are. And I mentioned, we all get evaluated on an annual basis. I think the reality of it is like in any head coach opening, every organization has their own challenges, their own constraints. There may be at different points with their roster's lifestyle. We'll be looking for something different than maybe some of the other openings have based on, where they are as a team. And some good coaches will fit us, but they won't fit the Titans. Some will fit the Giants and they won't necessarily fit us, but we're looking for the right leader and the right partner for our present situation. And I have a lot of confidence that we'll be able to find that person. Go ahead, Chris.
Why you bring up the
I know
Giants?
Paul left during the season, but do you envision his role being filled at all? And are there any other potential front office changes?
Do not envision Paul's role being filled. I think we have a number of talented people who will absorb more responsibility. Paul's a huge loss, but we have a lot of people who have gained a lot of really good experience and smart people in that, in that regard. So
Can I follow up by asking you, what did Paul do? We didn't get a chance to talk to you in mid-season, so can you tell us what he did?
Yeah. So Jeff, I think, this is something that we've covered a lot over the past 6 years. Paul, let me just say this. Paul is a longtime executive, former general manager, incredibly strong, sharp thought partner, huge in terms of strategic thinking, and really built up the research and strategy group as well as player development. Paul did a lot for the organization over his time here. And we're grateful for the amount of time that he did spend with us.
Should we really push back on the notion of like dysfunction within the organization? That he takes exception to that. I think when outside looking in, when there's a split where you remain, Kevin is let go, it almost gives off this sense that maybe there was a divide between you two. So I guess what can you say about your relationship with Kevin all the way until the end, up until yesterday?
So Kevin's like, I've said this 1,000 times, Kevin's like family. And, give you a little bit of insight because I know I've told you all how awesome of a person he is, but I've also told you sense of humor. I know you guys don't always get a chance to see that, but one quick story I'll tell you as I was driving back from the team flight last night. I was just, thinking about, what could potentially happen and the decisions that we had to make. I was like, what? I really need to, my kids, they're 8, 6, and 4. And I was like, I really need to tell my kids because every time they're at the facility, he's no longer like the fancy coach of the Browns, but rather, giving a Barry kid a piggyback ride or chasing them or tackling them, things like that. And I remember when I told my 4-year-old daughter, Eden, I was like, hey, there's a chance that Coach Kevin, he may not be coaching the Browns anymore. And she looked at me and she goes, well, will he play with us still? And I share that story because like when you talk about relationship or partnership, that's a lifelong connection for me and him. It goes beyond football. So if you ask, how was the relationship from the start to how it was today? He's family.
Are there any other changes to the coaching staff made today?
There were not, Scott.
Will you require the new coach to keep anybody on the staff, whether Jim or Tommy?
I'll touch what I said a little bit earlier. Ultimately, that'll be the head coach's prerogative. Obviously, we'll have a number of discussions about the existing staff, but that'll be the head coach's prerogative. John Dorsey. Let me go here and then I'll go to you, Terry. Let me go to Nate first.
I just remember John Dorsey years ago. He was a very experienced GM sitting up there and saying about a coaching search.
Yep.
He's driving home at night. He's telling himself, just don't screw this up. So how prepared do you feel to lead a coaching search? And is there anyone you're going to be leaning on?
Yeah. I'm going to leverage a lot of people with experience and people with, I'd say, process expertise, both internally and externally. Being a head coach in the National Football League, it's a really, really, really hard job. And I think it's at times maybe a little bit like players where you try and make the best decision that you can at the time with the information that you have. But, I joke is like, I don't actually Bill Polian used to say this, that like other than running for Congress or governing in Congress, like position of head coach may be just as hard because of all the different challenges and things that you face.
It ain't hard.
And so what we're going to do, we're going to ensure that we have a process that, is well defined in terms of what we're looking for and what the role will be specific to our organization. And we'll make the best hire we can. I'm confident we'll find a good coach. And then a big part of it, no different than quarterbacks, Daryl, is we've got to support that individual to make sure that they can have success as they lead us. Go ahead, Terry.
Win 8 games in 2 years is crushing the fan base.
Mhm.
You've been as much yourself. Excuse me. How fast can you, I guess, get to where your team is watchable again, and just a better product?
Yeah.
Now, basically, you're there. So how do you handle that?
Yeah, Terry, I think it goes maybe a little bit to Cam's question that I certainly would expect us to make progress over the next calendar year with who we hire and how we invest in the roster. In terms of our ultimate goals, I can't put a firm timeline on that, but we certainly do owe the fans more than what we've given them the past.
So what assets or things do you have that can, I guess, maybe jet sweep that thing going forward?
Yeah, so I look at how we're positioned. We're positioned with we'll have ample cap room at the beginning of the year. We have a defense that is elite, and everyone besides maybe one starter is under contract for multiple years. I look at some of the young core offensive players that we brought in this year, and I look at the fact that we'll have 10 picks, 2 in the first round, and I think it's probably going to be 7 in the top 150. It gives us an incredible opportunity to continue to take a big step forward.
2 more. We're going to go Mary Kay, then we're going to go Cam and Jeff.
So that means you about to move up. You got 10 picks. Then he said they're gonna have ample cap room at the beginning of the year. I don't know. Maybe he's saying, I know the league year doesn't start yet, but maybe that's what he's talking about. I don't know everybody's contract. I know Njoku gonna be a free agent, and some other players might be a free agent. So maybe they're gonna create enough cap room or cap space for them to go sign somebody they want, because they ain't gonna re-sign them. Maybe that's what he's talking about, but I don't know. I'm just speculating. But I need to. If you got 10 picks and he say we got at least 7 in the top 150, that means whoever they've been looking at, supposedly, that because he's saying they ain't did nothing because they ain't got the head coach yet. But whoever they don't evaluated during the season, the college football season, and been scouting, that means they feel like that in between from 6 to 150, they're gonna find like they did this past draft. That's what he's saying. So I don't know if you can strike iron twice. Andrew Barry, you been there? I know y'all. I was reading the comments. I know y'all believing this just 1 year. This ain't Andrew Barry's first year. He been there 6 years. I know he couldn't do too much because of Deshaun Watson, because they traded all of that stuff away. But I mean, you could have, the picks you did have, you could have drafted them and drafted good with them. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I had to go back and look all the way from 2020 up to now to see how many players hit for as was actually helping the team. But we know this year for sure, besides Dylan Gabriel, everybody he drafted was on point. Yeah, it is a shame. They used to lose. How long we got left? All right, we got 3 minutes left.
When we talked to Miles Garrett on Friday in the locker room, he mentioned that, that more rebuilding is not going to be for him, and he needs some assurances that you guys are 100% committed to winning as fast and as soon as possible and thoroughly as possible. So my question about that is, do you have any concern that he might try to, ask to be traded again? And in the event that something like that happens, can you state unequivocally that you wouldn't do that, or where would you stand on it?
So I think the first thing I'd say, Mary Kay, is, Miles and I have good and frequent dialogue. I think when people hear the term rebuild, and probably specifically here, really their thought is tear down, right? The idea that you're trading away a number of prime players or veterans, and you're accumulating, resources and things of that nature. When we think about where we are in our transition, it really is about building up the offense. Many of the trades that we've made are, really about maybe players who won't be a part of the future core, and getting future value for when we're in our prime window with this roster. If we do trade a productive veteran in his prime, it's probably more in lines of what we did with Greg Newsome, where we were able to acquire Tyson Campbell, a player that we thought was an excellent scheme fit. He's in his prime and under contract for 3 years. It would be more of a strategic decision like that. So our focus is on continuing to build. Winning is always the focus, but we also want to make sure that we take the proper steps to ensure that, hey, we don't have these up and down seasons, but that we can sustain it.
A rookie class that was so productive for you guys this season amid the changes. Do you have an approach to ensure that any kind of changes like this aren't detrimental to their continued growth and their development as you look for even more production from them in next season?
It's a great question, Cam. That's certainly top of mind. Young players, they don't always have linear progress. I wish they did. It'd make it a lot easier for all of us. But that will certainly be a focus as we get to meet the candidate pool over the next several weeks.
So this is your first coaching search since you've been here.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say this is the most important decision of your career as a front office guy?
I'd say this, Jeff. I think we have a lot of important decisions coming up. I think probably the two most important decisions that can be made by an organization are head coach and quarterback. So whichever order you want to put it in, I think that's fair. But look, my focus, I'm 100% dedicated in terms of finding the right person that continue to lead our franchise forward.
Good.
All right. Thank you all.
Hey, Type said it. You said the make or the break season. These moves Andrew Barrett about to make, and whoever on that 5 GM staff hiring this coach and these draft picks gonna determine if Barrett stays after this season. And with Myles Garrett saying what he said, don't want to rebuild, if they have another season like they did this year, or if it's whatever they telling him, if they lying, he might feel like he need to be traded again. And I wouldn't even blame him, bro. Like, trade me to a team that's actually about winning. Like, they believe in winning and they want to win. Just not saying it. Show me with your moves, with your attitude, with your actions that you want to win. I'm telling you, man. And then he said something about the prime window. And then when he heard that, when he said that, then he talked about Tyson Campbell. I'm like, oh, I see what he doing. He trying to trade for players or get players that's already under contract 2 to 3 years because he know he can't go sign that many in free agency. So if he can get a player that's aspiring from his team and go get a player that's got more years on his contract, then he can hold that player that's under contract 2 to 3 more years, however long their contract is, until they get Deshaun Watson on the book, and then they have a bigger, more cap space to either re-sign that player or make another move. I'm telling you, man. I ain't even think about it till just then. I don't know if one of y'all had said it. Maybe I missed it. But he already trying to get players that's under contract. So he ain't got to re-sign them at the end of the season or in the next 2 years. Well, really 1 year, because like he said, they about to be, where was it? He said they about to be in a good position after they much closer than they was before. And the reason why he said that is because that Deshaun Watson contract almost over with. That 5 years about to be over with. So now they're going to be able to maneuver and do whatever they need. So maybe if Andrew Berry nailed this offseason for as the head coach in the draft, not this year, even though it should pay off this year, because we done seen a lot of first-year coaches. If they do it right, the team will start winning this year. But in 2027, 2028, whatever the third year Shedeur will be, if Shedeur's still on the team and he done played his second year in Cleveland every game, his third year, they might win the Super Bowl. If, it's a lot of ifs. It's a big if, a big IF. If Andrew Berry nails the head coach and the draft, that means you don't draft the quarterback. You build around Shedeur and what you got. And he already going to put all the resources they got into offense. Now, I wouldn't be mad if they drafted Caleb Downs at 6. I wouldn't be mad because it might not be too many options, especially with Mendoza and Dante Moore gone. I wouldn't draft neither one of them anyway, though. But at 6, you get the best player available unless you trade back. But maybe they trade back. I would trade back if they were looking for a quarterback or they were looking for a player that got drafted that ain't there. I'll trade back to try to get another first-round pick for 2027, since you got to keep building through the draft. But we ain't gonna know, man. We ain't gonna know what's going on until it actually happens. I'm telling y'all. So y'all just fasten your seatbelts, get ready for the ride, because it's about to be a roller coaster. Look at Cole Prime. He just posted this. Hey, man, give it time. You're now on the right path, heading in the right direction. Now all you need to add is patience and consistency. All the lefts you took got you right where God wanted you to be, at his feet, asking for help. Allow patience and consistency to be your friends. I'm telling you, some of y'all trying to rush this because you're stuck and you feel like you can't get out the situation you've done been in for years, but you ain't had no patience. Then you ain't had no faith. You ain't had no patience. You ain't had no faith. You ain't believe. You ain't believe you could get out of it. I'm telling you, that's a whole different lie. I ain't even gonna do it. I ain't even gonna do it to y'all right now. I might have to go live again later. See what other news come out. Man, lie about what Barry said. Yeah, you said that. You said that. But I did my hour. I'm probably gonna come back live. It's probably gonna be a little later though. I'll upload a video probably at 5. Then I'll come live after that. Depends on what news come out. So if the news come out, then y'all already know. I'm probably gonna be on this thing. But yeah. So y'all just turn on your notifications. Subscribe and share and turn on your notification. And if you didn't know, y'all know I gotta shout out my stuff. Y'all know I gotta shout out my stuff. Hold on. If y'all ain't did it yet, I need y'all to go there right now. Go to my post right there. hit this link right here. A Savage and Terry first vlog is up. I need y'all to go subscribe to this channel right here, right now. I'm telling you right now, right here, right now. We ain't got that many views on there, but you need to subscribe. See, I just subscribed right now, right here. Savage and Terry, that's where I need y'all to go. I need y'all to go subscribe right now because we dropping another video. I'm going to drop some shorts, and we dropping another video when we were down there in Miami, and we seen Diddy. Yeah, I seen P. Diddy before he got locked up. I seen P. Diddy before he got locked up, and he almost hit us, and I thought we were going to get invited to a freak off. I'm not lying. I'm telling you right now. The man was like, if I would have stuck out my arm, he would have hit me. That's how close he was. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. So, I need y'all to go subscribe right now. This a vlog type channel, couple type channel. We going to do some stuff with the rest of the family and all that. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. We just got it started. I had some issues with the email I had created, but so I had to redo it. And so we got it up. But the first vlog is up there, Disney. Man, had a wonderful time. My cousin, the one that's in the league, he paid for it. We had VIP, all that. We went to almost all these rides, skipped the line. And I ain't been to Disney since I was 4 years old. So yeah. Yeah. It's not a Diddy ain't on there. I'm saying. He almost hit us. That's what I'm saying. It was a story. That's all. Diddy is not in the video. But yeah, we still got Renewed Gospel too. And follow me on TikTok at the Prime Effect. If y'all ain't did already, follow me on TikTok. No. Then I'm telling we doing numbers over here on TikTok, man. We doing numbers over here on TikTok. 18.4K followers. 59.6K on the Sabotage is dropping tomorrow. Sabotage is dropping tomorrow on every platform. I need y'all to stream that thing like crazy. These folk going crazy over here on TikTok on this thing. Y'all ought to see these coming. If you ain't seen them, you need to go see them. And if you're on Twitch, appreciate you. Because we're going to start live streaming on Twitch only. I'll let y'all know when I'm going to do Twitch. Like when I'm out and about, I can live stream on Twitch. Because I got the other phone and I'm about to start doing it. And we're going to start live streaming some other stuff. But like I said, we're still dropping that heat on Renewed Gospel too. So I need y'all to get prepared for that EP. EP dropping in February for Renewed Gospel. We're going to put some of y'all top bangers. That's the gospel music. We're going to put them out on every platform so y'all can stream and download them too. So you can play them in your church and get your Holy Spirit on. You know what I'm saying? Dance, shout, run around, kick your shoes off, tell your best friend everything about how God been good to you. And he keep on blessing you. I already know they're my favorite one. But it is what it is. I appreciate y'all for coming. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share, and tell your friend about that Money Man. You already know.
Money made this song.
They ain't doubt the talent. They fear the outcome. They greased the stairs, told me climb anyway. Took the crown of the room, then said on your place. Film scream MVP, but they mute the sound. Bury truth in the dirt, let the lies do round. Draft night felt like a courtroom rig. Evidence clear, but the verdict fixed. Handshake snakes with a smile so wide. Crossed out my name with a permanent line. They scared of a king who can't be controlled, so they sell. I'm covered, I ain't hidden, I'm protected. I'm covered, I ain't hidden, I'm protected. I'm covered, I ain't hidden, I'm protected. And I'm on. I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm protected. I dwell in the secret place Under his wings I'm safe. No fear in the night or day. God is my refuge, my stay. I'm covered, no harm, no weapon, no. I'm covered, no harm, no weapon. Oh, when trouble comes close to me, his angels stand guard for me. 1,000 fall, I still stand, 'cause I'm held in his hand. I'm covered, protected, no fear, I'm safe, covered, protected, no fear, I'm safe, I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm covered, yeah, I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm covered, I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm protected, 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 hey, I'm covered, I will trust him. I'm covered, I'm hidden, I'm protected. I'm covered, I'm covered.